And welcome to Farming Simulator 19, Beginner's Guide to Planting and Seeding. Now you have to excuse me, today I am a bit bunged up, but we will get through it. We will do our best. So we are going to run through the difference between planters and seeders. Now let's go into the shop first. And when we click onto the planters, now these are all the different planters which are available to us at the moment. We've only got one mod. Now the difference between planters and the seeders is the planters will always require cultivation beforehand or ploughing. You cannot cultivate and plant at the same time with the planters. However, the seeders you can. There are some of the seeders which will cultivate and seed at the same time, so it saves you having to go and cultivate a field, which is ideal. The crops you can plant with these are just down there at the bottom right hand corner, and the first one's the corn, then we have got sunflowers, then soya beans, then sugar beet, then we have cotton. So if you want wheat or anything else, that is seeders. So planters only do those 5 specifics. The other thing is you can also have, you scroll through the first one, that is, you see there, I'll indicate it's a seed and you can fertilise. Now ideally you want to seed and fertilise, like the next one over, the Lemkin Azurit, you can only put seed in, so it means you're going to have to come back later and put another fertiliser state. So in my opinion, you're always better off using a seeder or a planter what you can fertilise as well, because it's one extra job you don't have to do. Simple as that. Now that's the biggest planter, and that goes up to 12 metres, and you need 300 horsepower, but bear in mind, you can see there it's 7,080 litre capacity. It does 12 metres, needs 300 horsepower, but if you drop down to the next one, that's 180 horsepower. It's got 9,000 capacity, so it will hold more, and it's got 9 metres, so it's only a little bit smaller, but it's a lot less money as well. So it all depends what you want really, and how you get to do it. I recommend when you're starting on FS15, we did start with the 3 metres. I don't tend to use the 3 metres really. I tend to use the 6 metres and above, just because you're doing double each time, so it saves time. We go on to the seeders. Now the seeders will range from 3 metres up to 25.6 metres, so they are quite huge. Same thing again, you've got the capacity, how much they will hold, and then same again where that one there, the aggro, that takes fertilizer as well, and the one previous only takes seed. So you're better off you need to fertilize twice on every field, so you're better off if you seed and fertilize at the same time. That's one job done already. Now you see on the bottom there it says with a seeder and planter you can sow fields. Additionally, this machine offers the possibility to seed directly. No previous cultivating or ploughing necessary. Now these are essential. You use these, the ones what say this at the bottom. There it is. There's another one. It says no previous cultivating or ploughing. It just saves you time. It means you can take a field what you've just harvested. You can come along with this machine and you can cultivate. But that one, the same again. It's only got seed. So you want to go over to the next one, which is seed and fertilizer, and this one's 9 metre wide. This is the main ones I tend to use, is the Prontos. I don't tend to use the Lemkin very much because that one only seeds. And then we go up to the next stage where this has got 420 horsepower needed, and that's seed and fertilize. These are the backbone we used to use all the time, the Condors, and these fertilize and seed at the same time. Now you see all the different ones over this way. Over in the seeder side, they do different well, they plant the different crops, and you've got your wheat, barley, oats, canola, soya beans, that's radish, and then grass. So if you need grass, you need to use a seeder rather than a planter, because a planter is more planting plants and a seeder is seeding. Simple as. So they all work at slightly different mile an hour as well. That one's 9 mile an hour, and then these are 11 mile an hour. It depends on what size they are. Average they're 9 to 11 mile an hour. That was the advantage with this Condor, where it does do it. It's 15 meter spread on there, and it does it 11 mile an hour, and it only needs 270 horse. But you can go up to the big boys, which I've got one of these out just to show you what's going on with them. And you basically, that's your seed cart, and then that is your seeder, and that's the big boy, the 25.6 meter. But we don't need that in Fellsburn really. That's mainly for the big American maps, that sort of thing. So there it is on. That's what you're looking for in your seeders. Just matching up the horsepower and deciding how many litres you want. But like I said, try and go for the 6 meters, and if you use fertilizer as well, you're saving yourself more time, especially if you're not having to cultivate. So you can the seeders cultivate, the planters won't cultivate. So now we come outside, and I bought one of the smaller ones first. This is actually modded one, and this one will fertilize and seed at the same time, but it will not cultivate, so you need to cultivate beforehand. Now this is one of the planters. Now this, for instance, this you need to cultivate beforehand. This can be used with this additional storage tank. You can put that on the front and that on the back. Then you're moving up to the big boy, which is the Badestad, and this is the beast. This is the one to use. It's quite expensive, but you can put a lot of crop in very quickly. Now to fill them up, let's put on the help window so you can see what's going on. So basically we reverse up to it, attach, and then you can see the options available to us. It's got L3 refill sower, and the hatches come up. Now some of these you have to, most of the time, if it's near seed or fertilizer, which we've got our 2 pallets there, as soon as you come near it, the hatch should pop up like that to recognise it. However, some of them might not, and you might have to select it. So easy to fill up. All you got to do is pull alongside, push the L3 button, and you see it's filling up. If you want it to stop, it'll stop. Simple as that. Now that was the seed going in. Now if this is a hired machine and you've used your machine and you want to take it back and it's still got that 360 of seed in there, then all you do is press the R1 and you unload, and you see it unloads there and drops a pallet at the side of it. So remember, if you're leasing equipment, make sure you unload it before you send it back. Now if you're doing more of a realistic gameplay and you don't want to just come up alongside and magically fill the fertilizer and the seeds up, you can get yourself a forklift or a front loader, whatever you want to do, and then you just lift those up and go over towards the item you want, and you can see now the fertilizer door is opened, and when you come up to it, it should, that is the fertilizer, isn't it? There we go. And you see it just pours out, fills up just like that. So if you want to do it really realistically, that's how you do it. Same with the seed. We do the seed on the, I think it's full up of seed now anyway, isn't it? No, it's not. Oh. But anyway, you get the general idea. That's all you have to do is just hover them over the top. There are quite a few different ways of using. We've got pallets and we've got big bags. I don't want to go into all that now, otherwise the video will be ridiculously long. But there are quite a few different ways of using the bags. But most of the bags now you can pull alongside and just push the L3 and you can refill it. Easy as that. So now we haven't got any seed, so let's get the seed into it. The seed tray's opened up. Fill that up. So that's ready to go. Or is it? It depends what selection of crop you want. At the moment that is selected is on wheat. If you hold down the L1 button and you can see the triangle, when you press the triangle now it cycles through the different crops available to this machine. So we will leave it on wheat. You just come up to the field, lower it down, turn it on, that's the square button. Now it's all on, and drive forward, and the machine will only work to the capacity it's rated at. So it will only work at 6-7 miles an hour, and that's all it'll work at. And it's as easy as that. You just put it down. You can see the texture of the ground changes as you're putting the seed down. If you want to use the worker, you just press the circle button and you can see the worker's changed from yourself to a worker in there, and he will just go on through and get that job done for you. He will do the whole field. Now, one of the things you be careful with when you first start playing is that if you're jumping in and out of things, getting used to buttons, that you don't go back into the seeder and change wheat to barley or something like that without realizing, because you probably won't realize until it's grown. So for that purpose, how do we know that that's wheat in there now? We go onto the menu and scroll over to the maps, and this is on the growth from the previous. So we scroll in and you can see there it's now the couple of strips we put in, it's all going green, and that's saying that's because it's growing. The other field is in a cultivated state still. So if we scroll over to the soil composition, and you can see there it's actually putting fertilizer in the ground at the same time, which is what you want. You always want to be seeding and fertilizing. So that's how you know you've got your fertilizer in there. Then you scroll over again, and then the colour will come up to tell you what you've put in. So you can see there we're putting wheat in. So for instance, if we got to the end of this run and we were messing around with the buttons and pressed the wrong thing, didn't realise, and then we put it on to barley, and then we go back in, set the worker off, and away he goes. As you look at that, you wouldn't tell unless you've noticed the symbol down the bottom there. That's why it always pays to pop into the menu and have a look. Keep an eye on things. And you see the barley is the darker colour, which is coming in. Now you can see this, once there's two lines, it's a lot more noticeable. But basically it shows up whatever colour you've planted, it will show up on the right hand side. Now when you scroll up and down, you can turn all these on and off. So if you're just looking for, if you don't want to see anything apart from, say, sunflowers, so you can select turn all these off, and now it'll only show you the fields with sunflowers in it. And then you turn them back on again. Easy as that. So you see now he's coming back over the other side. This is the other thing you've got to be careful of. and he's not actually seeding. Nothing's coming out, I don't think, because some of these workers on FS19, they will continue to go back over stuff they've already done, so be careful about that. Now I've got those 2 lines there, let's turn that back to wheat. And now if we start this worker off here, he will only do everything over to the right. Well, he should go up this field and then turn right and come back down again. They normally should stop when they get to this side because they recognise it's cultivated. It's seeded, sorry. Right, let's go over to the bigger boys. Now this is the condor. Exactly the same principle. We just got to unfold these from the sheer size of them, and you see it's selected onto wheat, so it's the same selection where you hold down L1 and you've got select seed, wheat, barley, oat, canola, soya beans, oil, seed, radish, grass, and you just cycle through whichever one you need. Then we come up to the field. Lower sower, turn it on. And there you go. And we're sowing away. But we're not, because we haven't got any seed in there. So if we hire the worker, he's probably not going to work. Now, if you don't want to fill the seed up, you can go into the game settings. And when we scroll down, you've got helper refill fuel. You may as well turn that one off anyway. You've got helper refuel seed. Now if you can have these on and off. All it means is that instead of you filling it up, as the worker is planting and seeding, he will take that money. So it's another little cheat where you don't have to fill it up yourself if you want to use that. Now if we bring this worker back down to the other side of the field now and try and start him off, he will say he's empty, he can't. Alright, so do worker, there it is. He's suddenly, worker has stopped unexpectedly, tank is empty. Now if you don't want to go and fill it up, then you just move these back down. Fertilizer on, seed on. Now make sure if it's a fertilizer and seed, you select them both, because otherwise he will just put the seed in or put the fertilizer in. Now we start the worker off, and he's happy now. Oh, excuse me. But you'll notice the money is going down, and that's because you're paying for your seed and your fertilizer as you go, depending on how you want to play the game. That's what FS19 is all about. Lots of different ways you can play the game. You can play it as realistic as possible, or you can play it however you want to play it. It's as simple as that. Right, we go on to the last one, which this is the big boy. This is the biggest one we've got at the moment, and all this unfolds out, and obviously it does need quite a lot of room. I'm using triple wheels on it. Now this one will not fertilise, it is just a seeder. So although it is huge, and as you see there, at the bottom we would see the fertilizer. It would show seed and fertilizer. We'll start that one off and he should just work. Just the same principle. When you're using workers, it is better to put a strip at the top and a strip at the bottom, and that will help the worker turn round and not leave a bit, because he obviously, it get to the top, he is struggling with that. He is struggling. I'm quite surprised. This is rated at 646 horsepower, and that's what was needed. That's why I thought I'd put the triples on and it would fly up there, but no, it is struggling. Surprising. So if we go back into the menu now, and while the workers have been, you can see now all the different colours for the wheat are coming in. You can see the brown strip there, that was where the barley. So if you find you've got a strip in the middle, that's what's happened. You put the wrong type of crop over the top of it. And then we go on to that's your growth. So you can see now it's all starting to grow onto the first state, and the fertilizer is in. Simple as that. Right, well, I'm quite shocked how much he is going to struggle. You see, he's not too bad. He is turning round with that huge cedar quite well there. Let's go back over to the other side. Yeah, you can see he's working his way back now. Same with the condor. Condors are great cedars. So I think that's about it then. So the only difference really between the seeding and planting is for the different types of crops, and seeding, you just grow everything straight from seed. Remember that with the seeding you can cultivate first. You can get cultivators which seed and fertilise, so go for that option. And with the planters you will have to fertilise or plough beforehand, which is a bit of a shame, but that's just the way it is. Righto, I think we will leave it there for today, because they're cracking on. They seem to be happy now. He's finished. Let him finish that last bit. And on the next episode we will be covering fertilising. That will hopefully be a nice short one, because there's not a huge amount to fertilise. So we'll have those fields growing and we'll show you everything we need to know about fertilising. I think this series will end up with quite a few videos. If there's anything I haven't covered yet, I have got videos in the pipeline, and I have got a few more stockpiled as well. So just give him a message, because it might be one of the videos I've got stockpiled, as I only want to release 1-2 videos a day rather than releasing a load at once. Righto, well, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, then please give me a like, and if you want to see more content, then hit that subscribe button, and I will always be on your homepage, so you will know where to find me. Thanks for watching. Till the next time, goodbye.